Danny Johnson, Jed Olsen, also known as the Ghostface. Jed Olsen was once a freelancer with experience in a variety of newspapers and was hired in the Roseville Gazette thanks to his friendly, charming attitude to the staff. He started working on articles about the Roseville murders that had been occurring for 5 months. Although the victims were chosen at random, this mass killer seemed to know its way around their houses. Each of the victims had multiple stab wounds, indicating they were personal attacks. DNA traces were nowhere to be found, confusing the police that are desperate to catch this psychopath. The murderer also liked to stalk its targets, as 2 of them reported being followed by a dark figure with a mask of a face looking like it's screaming, almost like a cosplay of death itself. This killer followed them from the bar all the way to their home, snapping pictures of them. He would watch them for days, even weeks, learning their routines and habits. It is only when they feel the urge that they go in for the kill, finding on his list who was the most vulnerable of the group and break into their house. While the whole staff worked on the Roseville murder story, Olsen was in charge of the interviews of the victims. The day came when Olsen produced footage of the killer on its recent body count. A hooded figure breaking into another victim's house at night, killing the 2 who lived there, and afterwards looking up at the camera and disappearing in the night. Thus, the Ghostface caught on tape causes a town-wide panic in all of Roseville. Written by Jed Olsen, who was very proud of his work, spreading fear of his stories. Weeks later, he left a note on his work desk before disappearing. "I hope you liked my stories. I enjoyed bringing them to life. Don't worry, I'm not done." The Roseville law enforcement still refuses to comment, as Jed Olsen remains at large. Danny Johnson, who went by the alias of Jed Olsen, smiles as he rips the article out of the newspaper and starts packing his bags as soon as he heard the investigation started pointing to him. Knowing his work was done in Roseville, he prepares his leave before law enforcement finds out about him. He stared at his work on his wall that had articles and photos pinned together like a plan board. Photos of victims that he personally met as the Ghostface. He pinned the news articles to the wall on top of a picture of lacerated scalps. He stepped back to admire the work he has done. The articles he wrote, the stories he planned, and the gruesome scenes he himself brought to life. All of a sudden, he felt a chill running through his body as the fog arrived in his room. A woman shrieked, dead leaves crunched under his feet, and all Danny could do was smile in anticipation. It seems the entity wanted to know more about the stories of the Ghostface killer. What you're about to witness is how a slasher stalks its prey and goes in for the kill, other than how Michael does it. Danny's ability is known as Night Shroud, which allows him to be undetectable for a permanent time. This can help him stalk the survivors, crouching around corners and hiding in the dark. Once the stalk meter is filled up, the affected survivors become marked, making them exposed for 60 seconds. It also suppresses their ability to reveal Ghostface, which is the only way to cancel Night Shroud. Once he's revealed, or he performs a basic attack, Night Shroud becomes disabled and prevents him from stalking and marking survivors due to the cooldown. Any survivors who reveals his position becomes marked with Killer Instinct for a short time. Danny's perks allows him to grant undetectable and haste up to 18 seconds after hooking an obsessed survivor, even making the rescuer become the new obsessed, revealing auras of survivors that perform a rushed vault within 48 meters of your location for 6 seconds, and after picking up a survivor, all generators not being repaired will be blocked for the entity for the next 16 seconds, preventing survivors from starting on repairing them. Overall, and this was really difficult for me to rank him, I put him in B tier. Yeah, personally he isn't my favorite killer to use, but I do love how you are given the ability to remain undetected to go full stealth mode. My only problem is that since he's supposed to not be seen easily, he unfortunately doesn't blend well with the majority of the maps. Ones like Coldwind Farm, Raccoon City Police Department, Gideon Meat Plant, even Hawkins National Laboratory. Basically any map that has daylights or even takes place indoors that has bright lights inside. But, get lucky with the map selection, he can be quite a sly and stealthy killer you'll ever use. I actually wish he could interact with the special phone call he always leaves before meeting his victims. It gets me excited knowing who is next on his list.